Hey, what's up? I'm Marty Yang, creator of the Lucky Brain podcast. Thanks so much for tuning in. If you're enjoying the content, please hit the like button and also subscribe to my channel. Thanks so much. Hope you enjoy. CC Love, thank you so much for doing this. I appreciate it.
No problem.
So I just want to tell people, first of all, the way that I first was introduced to you was at a show that you guys were throwing in downtown, like Chinatown. And then this was one that Heido was did a performance as well.
Yeah.
But one thing that I really noticed about you is that you love what you were doing, because you just seemed like you were having so much fun, because even like after the lights came on, you were still fucking rocking it like it was like, you know, fucking 2,000 people in the room. And I was like, damn, this girl's fun.
Yeah.
And let me check her out. Let me see, you know, she seems interesting. So anyways, thank you so much for doing this.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah. So what got you into DJing?
I've just always been a big fan of music, and I happened to meet a DJ when I was in college. When I was in college, I was always into making like mixtapes for my friends, my roommates, and they like loved them, and I just loved being in control of the music, and I just felt like I knew what people wanted to hear, and like my mom's always been a big music fan, and I think that's pretty much where I got it from. And so, yeah, I think towards the end of college, I started to kind of just learn a little bit more, got a controller, started learning how to mix. And then I think after I graduated is when I was like actually taking it seriously.
Yeah.
Because I was just like, what am I going to do now that I graduated?
Yeah.
I don't want to be a teacher. Like, I was an English major, and I honestly don't even know why I
chose that.
I've always loved writing as well. But I kind of just went to college, got a degree because that's what I was told to do. But no one really ever taught me the idea of following your passion and doing what you love, instead of just, for me, I thought it was like, go to college, get an office job, and that's it. And like, even I started working part-time when I was in college, and I was just like, you know, I'm doing this because I need to make money, but I can't see myself doing this for the rest of the year. And if I were to work in an office, I'd see myself as the boss. Like, I don't see myself as just being comfortable in the same position and not moving up. Like, I've always saw myself as a leader. And I was just like, I don't know. I'm like lost right now. I don't know what to do. And then I kind of just, luckily I had some older friends that I could kind of just talk with. And one of them introduced me into meditation. And that's when I kind of really took time to tap in with myself and my talents. And I knew music was something very important to me, or something that I was very passionate about. And I was like, she's like, why don't you try to just DJ? Like, why not? And I was like, you know what? Like, I'm just, fuck it. I'm going to try it. I'm going to try it. And,
well, you're really good at it. Let me just say.
Thank you.
You throw a fucking dope party.
Thank you. That was actually, that was our first event. Was it our first? Yeah, it was our first event. So I was really hyped because it's a reggaeton party, and they gave me my own night. And I was like, oh my God, like, sick. I'm so excited about this. And luckily I know a lot of dope artists, like up and coming artists that are down to perform. So it just added to the night. So just to have Hyro's performance, it was really dope, and I'm glad that he was down. Because I had just met him like a few weeks or months before that.
Well, Heido, he's a mover and a shaker as well, you know.
I get that. I noticed that about him,
and you definitely can tell that you are too. And so it made sense that you guys had met up and like, let's do this shit. And it's interesting because the idea of like, you know, support like small businesses is almost the same thing as like support your friends' businesses, because you know, we're all starting, we all have like this starting point, and then eventually we'd like to say, for example, for my podcast, fucking blow up, or your DJ blow the fuck up, you know what I'm saying? And in order to do that, you have to meet people and work with people and provide value to people so that they can provide value to you. That's just the way shit works.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah. So talk to me a little bit more about meditation, and kind of, you said like it's tapping in with yourself. You're mentioning this process that you're going through right now, what is meditation? Because that's something that I was just meditating today. It's
Yeah.
like, man,
I honestly wanted to meditate today, but I feel like I fell off for a little bit because I've just been so overwhelmed and just like working on my business. And, but it definitely has changed my life. I realized I had some things to heal from in life before I could move forward. So once I did that after college, I just spent time like healing, spending time with myself, learning about myself. What am I? Who am I? What's my purpose? What I got from my first time meditating is that my purpose is to inspire others and just show people that they can, overcome anything and make whatever goals they want happen. And I feel like for me, the biggest thing has been understanding how to manifest things, like things that I never thought that I could achieve. So it's crazy because I just started DJing from scratch. I didn't have a lot of DJ friends around. I kind of just, if you really want something, you can make anything happen. And when I first moved to LA, I'm totally getting off track, but
okay.
yeah, when I first moved to LA, I didn't know anybody. And now every club I go to, I have friends everywhere, bouncers, security, DJs, artists. And that's just been like going out and networking. And
amazing.
Going back to meditation, I first my friend from college introduced me to it.
Right.
And then I just started watching YouTube videos on kind of just
like how to use a controller and stuff.
Oh no, for meditating.
Oh, I see.
Yeah, so I just, there's a lot of guided meditations. That's the word I was looking for. Guided meditation. So I started doing like those here and there. And then I would say around 2016 to 17, I met another person who was going to school for Reiki energy healing. And she definitely changed my life. I feel like she came into my life for a reason. When I moved to LA, I didn't have a lot of female friends. So I went to this circle with DJ Vice's wife. It's called, it's like a women's soul circle.
Interesting.
Yeah, it's funny because I follow DJ Vice and his wife is a life coach and she does meditation. So I just wanted to connect with more women in LA because all my friends are in Orange County, San Diego. So I went to this, and also like I was struggling with DJing. Like it was hard. This was like 2016 to 17 because I had just quit my 9-to-5 and I was just struggling with money. I wasn't getting too many gigs. So it was just a tough time for me. So I went to this circle and I meet this girl and she's like, "Oh, you're a DJ. Like, that's so dope." She just felt the need to come up and talk to me after the event. And so she's like, "Yeah, I'm going to school for Reiki energy. Like, I'd love to do a session on you." And I was like, good, because I'm just like a mess right now. Like my energy's all over the place. So she was kind of like the start, and she just really empowered me and just helped me to realize my full potential. She taught me how to make a vision board and the importance of visualization and just kind of speaking things into existence. For example, I had just quit my 9-to-5. I was working in insurance that has nothing to do with music. I was applying for like a full year to music companies. I was applying to like all the radio stations, Sony, like every music company you could think of, I was applying to, and I wasn't hearing back. I was so discouraged because I was like, do I get a job again? Because I'm like running out of money, and like,
right.
I was, living in LA is expensive. So I was just kind of like discouraged. And ever since I met her, it was just like, wow, like my whole like life changed. Like,
wow.
So I told her that I wanted to work at iHeartRadio, and I had applied for a whole year and I didn't hear back. And she was just like, we were meditating. I would meet her at Elysian Park to meditate, and kind of we would do grounding meditations, because pretty much the world everything's just so crazy. So when you meditate, it's a good way to get grounded, because you're just kind of like connected and you're kind of just still.
How do you meditate? Like, what is your kind of, for me, it's a lot about counting and breathing. like using my
Definitely
breath?
breathing.
Yeah. You guys are doing visualization while you're meditating?
We're doing, she has like crystals, sage, incense, and we're just doing deep breaths, and she'll kind of do some guiding. She's a really powerful person. Like this is what she's meant to heal people. Like that's her purpose. And I've learned so much from her. And what she taught me is that we got to be mindful of the language that we use, and just kind of like positive affirmations. I was kind of getting discouraged because I wasn't hearing back from any of these companies. And I told her, well, you need to know somebody to get in. So that's probably why I'm not hearing back. And she was like, you need to watch what you say and change your language and tell yourself, I deserve this job and I'm going after it, and I'm going to go take that job that's already mine. And it was just like that type of attitude, and just like claiming that things are already yours. Like I literally got an interview a month after that. And
wow.
and I had I'm never going to forget that moment. Like we would always go to parks in LA. So we went to Echo Park, and Echo Park's just, it was my spot for a while. And I just remember like, man, I felt like, okay, this is really going to happen. Like I'm going to get this job. And then I remember getting the interview, and I'm like texting her. She's like, girl, it's already yours. Like, I was like, I'm not walking out here until I get this job.
Yeah.
But yeah, that was like 2 years ago. And so since then, I just realized my capability and how I can just manifest things. And I'm not scared to take risks at all. Like I quit my job in 2017, and I've never went back to like a 9-to-5. And that was like the best decision I ever made. And it just, when as an entrepreneur, you kind of just figure things out on the way, and you problem solve. And that's something that I've learned.
What was the feeling like when you're in the interview for iHeartRadio and you're texting, your friend like, hey, this is happening? Like what's going on in your head? Are you like, have you already done enough affirmations and enough like work on yourself to say like, oh yeah, this is supposed to be happening? Or was it like, this shit is blowing my mind?
I was just amazed because
that is kind of amazing that 1 month later, after you're kind of going after it, or already acting as if this is your job, you get the interview. That is a commonality that does happen with people very, very frequently. Yeah
And there's a lot of things that come with meditation, like your frequency, raising your frequency. And when you raise your frequency, you attract people, situations, opportunities. That's why it is important to meditate, because sometimes our energy could be really low. And, I've had those points where my energy was low, and I would just go to meditation, and people can
pick up on your frequencies.
Yes. And then I just really believe in manifesting, but you also have to put in the work too. So even though I got the phone call that they want to interview me, it's like, I'm not just going to sit back and like, oh, it's my job. Like I still have to put in the work. I'm going to give them a really good interview. And I'm going to make them want to hire me. Like I still got to put in the work, but I already know I'm going to get it.
Yeah.
But so, manifestation is a really powerful thing.
Yeah, absolutely. So that's kind of your meditative practice, is like practicing on what you want in life, and then bringing that into realization, manifesting that.
And also setting intentions, like why do you want to do something? Why do you want to DJ? Because you want to make people feel good, and just she just taught me that I need to be intentional with everything.
That's good. That's sound advice for sure.
Yeah. With anything that you do, like you should always be intentional. Like, why do I want to do this podcast? Like, why do I want this job? Why do I want to make this money? And that's something that I've been reflecting on during this quarantine. What is important to me right now? And so
that's cool. love everything that you just said, because for me, it's a very important thing to meditate. I think for me, mine isn't so much manifesting. It's more just quieting my mind. It's an amazing experience for me.
That's a skill because it's hard.
Oh yeah. I mean, you will like, you're like you can't, for the most part, I can't even like, whenever I'm bored or something, just like whip out my phone and then just start scrolling, just doing like mindless scrolling.
Yeah.
And it's like, not helpful. It's not very helpful. There's other things that I can be doing, either like reading or researching like better ways to interview, or like better ways to put together the like visual for this, lighting, increasing my worth and working on my passion. There's so many things that I could be doing, but instead sometimes I just like, I want to just scroll through Facebook and just like, all right, who's pissed off today? You know, who's hating on Biden, or who's hating on Trump. And so when you talk about meditation, for me, it's not so much about manifesting, but rather just like getting my mind under control, because I'm not religious, but I think there's a verse in the Bible. It just says like, be still and know that I am God. And I think that when you are still, for me, like I really feel that connection with God.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's like, wow, it's pretty amazing.
I will say lately, because I have so much on my mind right now, that it's been hard for me to meditate. So I feel like you can meditate in multiple ways.
Yeah, there's different ways.
There's different ways. So for me, like I've been jogging, like I'll jog like 35 to 40 minutes. I did that today, and I noticed when I'm jogging, that's when I feel like I'm meditating, because I literally don't think about anything. And that's when I get these creative ideas. Like I'll start thinking of mixes, or, oh, I should do this. Like that's the one of the greatest parts of meditation. Like if you're a creative person, is you'll get ideas. They'll come to you because you're quieting the noise, and you're just kind of like turning everything else off so that you could just be in that moment. And then I feel like you're able to be more creative. And I feel like I get all my best ideas when I'm running.
Yeah, absolutely. That makes sense too. Also too, what's probably, going on in your like body physiologically is you're getting like dopamine and serotonin and all these like really good neurochemicals that are beneficial for creativity or just like feeling good. And so definitely exercising is it can be a meditative thing for sure. But also too, like when you're sitting still and you're quieting the mind, and say for example you're manifesting, you're thinking about the things that you want to happen in your life, you probably are tuning into that frequency, whatever that frequency is, which like allows you to connect with other people, or even connect with ideas. That's a certain like trippy aspect of it too. It's maybe you're not even like the right people are coming into your life, but it's also like the right ideas. You're just grabbing them out of the air. It's like really trippy experience.
Yeah, it is.
'Cause that happens to me a lot, where there's like, fucking branding for the podcast, or like, who do I want to reach out to? Whenever I'm most like still or like exercising, I think it's like there's something going on.
Yeah.
With the breath work, the biology, the physiology that's going on in your body. I think all that's connected.
Yeah.
And it helps to create a positive environment for yourself, because these are crazy times, and you just whip out your phone and then you're like, look at like whatever Donald Trump is tweeting and how many people are hating on Donald Trump, and you could get so wrapped into all the bullshit that's going on right now.
Yeah, it's a lot.
That your vibration or your frequency, whatever you want to call it, I mean, it could be just, could be shit.
Yeah, that's a whole nother subject, but what I can say is that there are times where I just get so wrapped up in it that I would just get angry, and I would just is this just so fucked up? And it's been fucked this whole year. Like it's been back to back to back since Kobe died. It's been heavy. And I really think at the end of the day, like we all have to put our mental health first. Before we can be a better asset to society. So I think if you're like depressed or stressed or whatever is going on with the world right now, like you really need to take time for yourself and just get your mental health in place if that's with meditating or working out or whatever. Hanging out with friends, taking a little trip or whatever it is to get your mind right. Because, I mean, I've learned that you got to help yourself first before you can help others. And that's why I'm trying to,
absolutely
focus.
Step your game up, your inner game.
Yes.
Yeah.
I mean, there's a lot. I did protest and I did, I've always been a vocal person, but at the end of the day, like, I don't want it to consume my energy and like ruin my week or whatever it is. So I'm really just trying to help myself first and like get my vibe right and get my energy right. And,
which is going to be important because like what you do for people when you're DJing is like, you're basically almost putting them in a like meditative stance or position, because you're providing them with an atmosphere of like good feels, like good vibes. And I mean, that's what we're trying to do when we meditate, right? Like, can we get to a good vibe?
Yeah.
And so that's a pretty cool thing. So, what you're doing, I think, is important for yourself, because your mission or your goal when you're DJing is like, you want to create a good vibe for people. You want people to have fun.
Yeah.
So that seems like it's all linear.
And that's like my way of contributing to society. Like, I might not be there, like,
Rishi guide.
Yeah.
Yeah. So let's talk a little bit more about DJing, and then we'll kind of just wrap this up. We're at 21 minutes right now. These cameras got the 30-minute time frame. But so where do you see yourself moving forward now that like you're working on yourself? Do you like, I seen that you had something on your Instagram that you were kind of doing a show most recently, or is that something that from a while back?
Which it like
it was like an Instagram post where somebody kind of put the camera up in your face and you're like, like,
so that was a gig I had like 2 weeks ago, and it was like, man, it's crazy.
You look like you're having fun.
That's that was at apartment 503. It was just like a one-time thing, unless they keep having events every weekend. They'll probably hit me up again. But that was my first time DJing in a while, and that was just, I was happy, and everyone was just having a good time. They didn't expect it to be like that good of a turnout, but people just wanted to have a good time.
Yeah, people been wanting to have a good time. It's like, man, I couldn't imagine. We're talking about mental health, right? Yeah. And then now so many people are struggling with mental health. I know several people are struggling with that. Can't get their mind right. And especially now you close gyms. That was some people's mental health for sure.
Oh man, at the beginning of this pandemic, so I had all these gigs lined up. I had weddings lined up. This was like going to be the best year of my life for DJing. And I was just super hyped about it. And then March is when it really like hit me. It's like, oh my God, this is really happening right now. I started having every gig canceled left and right.
Yeah. And
it was the worst feeling. Like I am an extrovert, so I like to be around people. I get energized by people. I hate being like stuck inside, and I love to be out. So I literally went through it. Like I had I was just depressed for like 2 weeks, and I was just like, damn, binge watching Netflix. And I'm like, I don't even watch TV. Like I've never even owned a TV. That's how much I'm like out and about. Like I don't really stay home that much. So for me to just be confined to like a room that I'm renting, it's like, it was not good for me. And so how I dealt with that is I just started working out and just focusing on that. Making mixes, because I know mixes for me, they like lift me up when I'm working out, like just to have that high energy music. Like even though the world's fucked up, like the song's really good and it puts me in a good mood. And so I was like, I would always get inspired. So that's why I feel like I've been making a lot of mixes, because I've been working out a lot. I know a lot of other DJs, they move to Twitch. I don't feel like I have the right setup for that right now, but something I'll definitely do later. But yeah, I mean, music is a very healing thing, and
100%.
even though this year has been what it was, it's at least artists are coming out with music and, you know.
Yeah.
And also the few times that I did do live streams where I DJ'd, the feedback was like crazy. Like people would just like send me money and be like, thank you for bringing the club to my living room. Like, and I was just like, dang, like I'm just here like playing music for fun. Like I'm not doing this for anything else. And like people really wanted that experience. Like they want to feel like they're at the club, and I'm just like, what the heck? Like, I wasn't expecting this, but
but also too, like, I think there's could be many people that, because I've been going out since I was 18 years old, right? Yeah. And I've been to many dope parties. Mm-hmm. And one thing that I noticed is that when the DJ is having fun, the people are having fun too. Mm-hmm. And you bring that energy. I don't know what it is about you, but I mean, you just, you seem like you like making people happy. Mm-hmm. I can tell that about you. Just from going to that one show, like not even knowing you and just kind of like observing you. Yeah. And so that's probably why people are like, let me shoot you some money, because of the value that you're bringing to them. Mm-hmm. Yeah. I was so excited to like throw the next event, and then that got canceled. But do you think there will be other events people will want to have and book you for? Yeah, I actually just got booked this Friday out of state, and I'm like super excited because I'm like, man, I need a like change of scenery. Like out of state would be dope right now. And then boom, you got it. Yeah. And like I feel like I've been putting, even though clubs are closed, I still feel like I've been active with DJing. Like I've been putting out mixes and just being active, and you know, I get a lot of my gigs from social media. Like people see my stuff and like, oh. Yeah. Where can people find your music, Cece? mixcloud.com/iamcclove. Okay, I'll definitely put that as a link. We'll wrap up with that. Thank you so much for your time. I really appreciate your energy. Course. I really appreciate you coming down here and sharing the experience. Yeah, thanks for having me, and I'm glad you had fun at the event. It was a really good night that night. Yeah, I had a good time. Yeah. Cool. All right. Peace. Hey, what's up? I'm Marty Yang, creator of the Lucky Brain podcast. Thanks so much for tuning in. If you're enjoying the content, please hit the like button and also subscribe to my channel. Thanks so much. Hope you enjoy.